Big tonight, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness, with his administration facing some heat for missing a UN vote last week, has said in Kingston that it yearns for peace in the Middle East. He told a meeting of his ruling Jamaica Labour Party that Jamaica wants to see powers that be in the Middle East exercise responsibility and ensure an end to the senseless killing of innocent civilians in the region.
Some of you may be watching your televisions and you're seeing the senseless killing of innocent people, civilians. Jamaica wants to see peace. And we want to see the human rights of all peoples respected. And those who have power have a greater responsibility to ensure that people's human rights are protected.
The opposition People's National Party, PNP, had described the absence of Jamaica's representative from a crucial United Nations General Assembly vote on Friday as a new low in the country's foreign policy history. The resolution called for protection of civilians and upholding legal and humanitarian obligations in the Gaza crisis. Christopher Henry Jr., the PNP's junior shadow spokesperson on foreign affairs and foreign trade, noted that despite Jamaica's role as chair of the CARICOM Foreign Ministers Caucus, it failed to vote in support of a resolution, in contrast to CARICOM's agreed position. Henry, in a release, said the Holness administration's explanation was unsatisfactory and lacking in merit, as consultations should have been timed to enable Jamaica to vote in favor of the resolution. Jamaica's Foreign Affairs Minister Camilla Johnson-Smith said Monday the country has not shifted its position on international human rights and that the country supports a peaceful resolution to the conflict now taking place between Israel and leaders of Hamas. Jamaica was noticeably absent from the vote of the UN General Assembly calling for a humanitarian truce in Gaza with the hopes of a cessation of hostilities. She said the Jamaican government is supportive of humanitarian aid for victims of the war and the release of hostages. Earlier on Sunday, attorney at law Clive Monroe Jr. raised concern about the country's modern foreign policy direction. Barbados, you've got a problem. Your population is declining.
The bottom line is that at the very time when we need to be increasing the numbers of people who can pay taxes, the numbers of people who can add daily to the building of this country, to be able to ensure that it can withstand all of these international headwinds, some of man's making, some of nature's making. At that very time, we are now in a position where we have less people to do so. My friends, this is a national crisis.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley told a conference of her ruling party that the time has come for her country to have some tough talk about migration.
In 1950, Barbados had 200,000 people, and the Bahamas and Belize had 80,000 each. Today, Bahamas and Belize have over 400,000 people, and Barbados has, 73 years later, 269,000 people. We have to have conversations, because as much as others would like to have the joyful way to success, there is also the need for the managed way of migration if we are not going to leave our people exposed to the headwinds.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves is this week headed to West Africa. Gonsalves is expected to arrive in Nigeria on Wednesday via London. He is to deliver a lecture at the university there on Friday.
The former President Obasanjo, who came and visited us in St. Vincent with the President of the Africa Exim Bank, invited me to this particular university and to address the question of African emancipation, of African technology within the digital space, and to speak about the linkage between that issue and reparations. Of course, both of them touch on concern sustainable development and the sustainable development goals. Within that context, I'll be doing the discussion. But importantly, too, I want to talk with the leadership of the Bells University of Technology to have links with our own community college in my capacity as minister responsible for tertiary education. Because we have to develop very sharply, very markedly, science, technology, and innovation beyond what we have developed already.
The Vincentian leader is scheduled to travel to Accra, Ghana on Sunday, where he will meet with the Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo.
Today I go to Accra for a very short visit to see the President of Ghana, my very good friend who had visited us and whom I've met at different meetings on many, many matters.
The second Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum is being staged this week in the Guyanese capital, Georgetown. Organized under the theme, Creating a Shared Prosperous Future, and convened by Afreximbank and the Guyana government, the two-day meeting is expected to discuss ways of consolidating commercial collaboration between the Caribbean region and Africa for increased inter-regional trade and investment. Guyana's President Irfan Ali and Prime Ministers Mia Mottley of Barbados and Philip Pear of St. Lucia spoke at Monday's opening session. Mottley again emphasized the opportunities for trade and financing between the Caribbean and Africa.
It is through trade that we will deepen those relationships. It is through trade that we will flourish and prosper and make a better life for our people. And recognizing that if we can trade with people with whom we have those historic genealogical relationships and move out of the North Atlantic prison that was foisted on us at independence, then I believe that we will give ourselves more options in this difficult world.
President Ali called on the regional private sector to take advantage of Afreximbank's willingness to look at any project that seeks to invest in a project to help tackle the region's maritime transport challenges.
I will consider it a severe missed opportunity by the regional private sector if they cannot form a consortium and use this opportunity that Exim Bank is offering to end our regional transport system failure. And I speak specifically about our maritime transport infrastructure. We can plant and grow as much as we want. We can do agro-processing, manufacturing, industrial development. We can re-engineer the supply chain, but we have to move things. We have to move things throughout the region. We must find the solution. Afreximbank has assured us that they are ready to examine a proposal from the regional private sector to present this solution.
Ali said the regional private sector needs to step up in that area.
Every single state in CARICOM has made it clear that we will give all the incentives necessary to facilitate the building of a regional transport infrastructure system to solve the problem of regional transport. It is in your hands now.
The Guyanese leader said his nation is committed to close collaboration among nations in the region to help develop its capacities.
We are a land of 6 different people, united and free. And our vision, collectively as a people, is to build a prosperous and rewarding future for all of Guyana. But let me hasten to add that our prosperity must lead to this region's prosperity. We are integrally linked to this region, and we have a responsibility to work as hard as we work for Guyana, for this region, and ensuring a prosperous pathway for this region. And we are fully committed to that.
This is Primetime Caribbean. We'll be back with more after this.